You know, the local media has an agenda that they're going to serve. I don't know who's in charge of it or what it is, if it's like a headless monster.
You know, I was pretty happy with that one Gerbils the other night.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
That was a good pizza.
Yeah. Fat wallets and empty hearts. Which...
Fat wallets, empty hearts.
It's insane how little musicians get. So, if you're interested in supporting not just me, but any musician that you like, one of the best ways to do that, it sounds old school because it is purchase their music, purchase their merch, you know.
Hey guys, this is Mark from Rat Rod. Hi, this is Mikey P from Skell. Hey, this is Jeff from the Bell Jumpers.
Skell.
Probably Dave Grohl, because he's awesome.
This is Jessica for the band Dimitus. You're listening to Pennsylvania Rock Show.
What's up, everyone? You are tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 687. I am going to be chatting with Chris, and I don't want to butcher his name, so I'll let him tell you what it is in a moment. But on the radio side, we just heard from Eris Paul and their track Drive All Night, Yigga Digga, and their song Bone Crackin' Magic. And we also heard the Red Lines County Road. Once again, this is the PA Rock Show, episode 687. We're coming at you from musicfromthe412.com, buildthescene.com, oldiesxl.com, xrpradio.co.uk in Scotland, rootaroo.radio.com on the beaches of San Diego, California, on 107.1 FM KFGD, and Mega Rock Radio from St. Louis, Missouri. I feel like I forgot somebody, but we're going to go with that list for now. With me tonight is Chris.
Bill, what is going on, man? Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on.
So wait, listen, straight up. Try my last name. It's okay. If you butcher it, don't worry about it. Just try it. It is exactly how it looks.
Yeah, Natalini.
There you go, brother. See, it was all good. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you. So Jazz Byers, who does one of the shows on Music from the 412, just sent me a message. So I got to respond. I apologize.
That's okay. Doesn't Jazz know you're doing a show?
Well, yes, and that's the problem.
It's funny when I'm usually on our, because the Brothers Grimm were off tonight because of the holiday. So I do the same thing. Like I get all these text messages during the show, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of the show here. But all my friends text me as we go.
Yeah, so
I get it. I totally understand how that goes.
That reminds me, I have to yell at Rocky later. But anyway, I met you not that long ago.
No,
Squirrel Hill Sports Bar. And that was an interesting night,
to say the least.
Yeah, I wasn't even there. I know you just I saw you walk in with this huge camera, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's legit. Now, listen, man. Here's the thing, Bill. Like, we're local bands, right? And we're traveling, and us and Corns of Sanctuary. We're coming out of the Philly area, and we were playing Ohio the next night. And Mick was like, and I know Mick, and he was like, hey, listen, let's, instead of just driving up to Ohio and then just doing the Sonar Fest and coming back, let's take another show. And we took it at Pittsburgh. And listen, man, and to be fair, though, you guys had a lot going on that night. The Maroon 5 show, and then you guys had that big music festival up the street, right? It wasn't that far away. The North Side Music Festival was there.
Yeah, and there was like
another one at the Point.
You're right. And there was like a baseball game that night. So listen, listen, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You take chances, and sometimes you play for your friends, and sometimes you play for a packed house. And the Pittsburgh show was just one of those things that, we ended up playing for, a little handful of people, but it is what it is. That's just, I
enjoyed it.
It's the scene, right? Exactly. And that's all.
And I got some cool pictures of you guys.
Well, that you totally did. You totally did. Yeah, man, that's what it is. So, if you walk away going, hey, man, I had a great time, and, us in Corner Sanctuary, we had a few laughs, and we met, a couple of other guys in the other bands, and, whatever. It's the local scene. It's how it is in 2023, unfortunately. And, it's just one of those things. Some are good and some are bad.
I wouldn't even say bad. I wouldn't even say that was bad because we did have a lot of laughs, but you know, it's just one of those things, man. It's how it is. It's how it is nowadays.
So I'm not even sure. I mean, you have two bands.
I do.
Seeds of Perdition, who we're going to hear from later.
Mm-hmm.
Execution Order, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are currently recording.
That is correct.
At the tail end of recording.
Well, we went to the studio to do one song, just for promotional things. And we had never been in the studio together, so it was like a kind of trial for everybody. You know, it was the trial for the band and to see how we kind of interacted, you know, in a studio. We were doing one track for promotional stuff, and which will be on the full length that's coming up shortly. So, you know, hopefully we'll have the final mix. Geez, probably by the end of this week, I would imagine, maybe the beginning of next week. So it'll be out, you know, very shortly. But just that one song for right now. We'll be doing the full length very, very soon.
When it's done, make sure you send it along. We'll throw it in rotation.
Bill, I got you, bro. Don't you worry about it.
And then you have the Cosmic View, correct?
I do. Well, Mick is the Cosmic View. I do the Cosmic Voice. That's our music podcast that we do, and we're actually just about to start our season 6. Probably probably within the next week or two. We're waiting until after the holiday to start season 6, and we've been talking about some topics. I'm really excited about this season because the topics that we have they're going to be kind of hot. They're going to be a lot of you know, we're going to be pushing a lot of buttons this season. We have a lot of opinions that you know, about stuff that's going on in the industry right now. So I'm really excited about season 6.
So is it kind of similar to this? Like you bring bands on and talk to them, or
you know, when Mick kind of came to me with the idea, the original idea was around. It was we were in COVID, and you know that's when everybody was doing stuff from home, and I think originally we had said, you know, we'll bring people on and we have all these things. But what had ended up happening is I think we've had 2 guests so far. We had James Lapierre, which was the former bass player of Corners of Sanctuary. And then we just had Pamela Aloya, who is a life coach expert. And we just had her on talking about taking care of yourself on tour and, you know, the different things of how to keep yourself from, you know, losing your mind in the music business. And, you know, we have guests on when we feel we need to, you know, because we have so many topics that we talk about. And sometimes we kind of go off the beaten path. I think one time we did like a Christmas episode and, you know, we interviewed Santa Claus, like just for fun, you know, just, you know, just kind of break it up a little bit. But yeah, like we have guests on. I mean, well, I should say we've had guests on. We'll probably have one, maybe. I know we talked about before, maybe doing like one guest a season, unless, you know, something falls in our lap that we feel is, you know, important at the time. Cause you know, we try to stay topical. Cause even though we record our stuff, I don't know, I guess like a week or two, we might be about a week or two, like we'll record it and then it'll be released. So we try to keep, you know, if we're going to talk about something topical, sometimes we'll even push it to get it out sooner just because, you know, it's a hot topic at the moment. So if we come across somebody there, you know, somebody falls in our lap that we feel that, you know, we should probably put on, then we'll do it. But we don't really go out searching for it because we have so much to talk about within ourselves.
It's speaking of time frames, when we get done here tonight, this will be on Music from the 412's Roku within an hour on the Roku channel.
Oh, look at you guys. Nice. You guys are on the
ball. And then the podcast will be available Friday at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
And just because that's always been the day, because it'll actually be done when we're done. As I was
right. Yeah. You were saying that off the air.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the system down now.
Yeah, you do. Well, apparently.
Although I will say I tried to stream the Kick today for the first time, kick.com.
Oh, how was that?
It did not work. I have an exclamation point on that one. So I'm gonna have to double check that.
Move on, delete app.
My next door neighbor is a gaming streamer and he just started using it. And he's in the first 3 days, he has 30 some paid subscribers. And I was like, I gotta try that.
That's insane to me, bro. I get it. I know there's a lot of people that stream, but that's insane to me. I just got Texas Chainsaw Massacre for my Xbox, and that's an online game too. And I'm like, I've never played online. I've just never done that. And I just started doing that. And I'm like, I don't, this is just so weird to me, but people do it. People make money off it. So God bless them.
That's all he does. That's
right.
his job.
That's what I know. It's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
And it's funny because he's like 6 feet that way. His house.
He's probably playing right now.
I think he is actually. If anybody is on Kick and wants to check him out, he's Miller Time Gaming. Miller Time Gaming. He's probably playing Call of Duty.
Oh, there you go. Oh, see, there you go. There you go. Now we're talking.
Okay, so we have like 30 seconds left in that first 10 minutes.
Oh,
so
get the music. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're gonna listen to Seeds of Perdition, the song "Dead Inside."
Yep.
And we'll be right back.
Cool.
And on the video side, you're gonna see some video.
Nice.
Music and Sound is the go-to music store for every level from student to master. Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting out, Main Street Music and Sound has the resources you need to make music your way. And with over a decade of hands-on experience, we'll take care of repairs, installations, and more. Shop our wide variety of new and used instruments and gear, online or in store. Thanks for supporting your local independent music shop. Catch the Pennsylvania Rock Show live Mondays on Music from the 412. Join host Bill Damiano for music and exclusive interviews with the best unsigned bands Pennsylvania has to offer. Featuring the best variety of rock and metal with new shows every week. Plus, you can catch replays every Saturday morning and stream us on the radio. Want to get your band featured in an upcoming episode? Visit Build the Scene online for submissions and additional information. Want your music featured with the best of Pittsburgh's local artists? Music from the 412 is seeking bands and solo artists from Pittsburgh and beyond for our channel and exclusive shows. Simply visit musicfromthe412.com and look for our submission form under the Contact tab. Whether you're looking for an interview feature, concert promotion, or airtime for your latest song or music video, Music from the 412 has you covered. Get exposure for your music today.
Hey, it's your Music from the 412 concert calendar for the week of September 4th through the 10th. I'm Bonnie Diver, and here's what's going on. September 7th, that's Thursday. Couple of shows happening. Thunder Thursdays at the Pittsburgh Shrine Center with Shot O Soul. That starts at 6. Thursday, Deadhead Winery at 7. It's Hunter Root Band. Also on Thursday, the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus with Kingdom Collapse will be at the Craft House. That starts at 7:30. Also, listen for your chance to win tickets for that show at the Craft House from us here at Music from the 412 this week. On Friday, Rock for Life continues. We the People in Katanning. That's from 2 until 11. And on Saturday, Tunes and Treasures will be at the Beacon Hotel from 3 until 7. Also on Saturday, Twin Lakes Park concert at 4:30. That's at the Brian T. Rusnock Amphitheater. And listen to win tickets this week on Music from the 412 for Cherry Poppin' Daddies. They're going to be at Jurgles on 9:15. And Drive By Truckers, they're going to be in Greensburg at the Palace Theater on 9:24. We've got your tickets. That's your concert calendar from Music from the 412.
Want your music featured with the best of Pittsburgh's local artists? Music from the 412 is seeking bands and solo artists from Pittsburgh and beyond for our channel and exclusive shows. Simply visit musicfromthe412.com and look for our submission form under the Contact tab. Whether you're looking for an interview feature, concert promotion, or airtime for your latest song or music video, Music from the 412 has you covered. Get exposure for your music today. Don't miss 3 Questions and a Song on Music from the 412. Tune in as Bill Damiano of the Pennsylvania Rock Show introduces you to unsigned bands from anywhere on the third rock from the sun. Bill asks questions, bands give answers. Plus, an additional question is provided by the previous episode's featured artist. Learn about unsigned bands of all genres throughout the world through a very simple method: 3 questions and a song. Tune in to our next show.
Hey everyone, we are back. It is episode number 687. With me tonight is Chris Natalini from Execution Order, Seeds of Perdition, which you just heard from, and the Cosmick Voice. So,
and the Brothers
Grimm,
song, the Brothers Grimm.
and the Brothers Grimm, and I forgot that's the radio show, correct?
That is the radio show, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna lie, I did not get a chance to hear the song ahead of time because I was at my parents' house all day.
No problem.
So, and I didn't hear it while it was broadcasting live on the radio station because I was listening to what's going on in video. So I need you to tell me about this song. This is like your MTV moment. It's a storytellers.
Well, Dead Inside's just start. It's funny because hands down to me, I think Suffering of the Dead is, and I've been doing for the listeners that don't necessarily know me, like I've been doing this a long time, like over 30 years. I've had a lot of releases over the time. And I have to say, like, Suffering of the Dead with Seeds of Perdition is probably one of my top 3 releases of my career. I'm super happy about that record. I'm super proud of it. Super proud of the guys that, the rest of the guys are involved in the record and the writing of the record. The music is intense, and this is coming from, I'm the singer, but I'm a fan first. It's just always how I've been. It's always how I write stuff. It's always how I perform. I'm just a fan first. And George and Dan, who are the creators, I guess you could say, of Seeds of Perdition, like they're 2 of my, their music writing, and the melodies they create and the stuff they create is just, it's unbelievable to me. So I'm a super fan of Suffering the Dead. I love every minute of it. I'm very proud of that record. But on that note, so Dead Inside, a lot of my stuff, and I had said this on a few other shows, a couple interviews, a lot of my stuff really lyrically just kind of comes off the top of my head. I don't necessarily, like, things will just come to me. And what I mean by that is I'm not some lyrical genius. Like sometimes I'll see something. I had said in an interview, I guess pretty recently, that I was watching the original Nun, the movie The Nun. And the opening scene there's a thing on a door. If you've ever seen Nun, doesn't matter. The opening scene, it says God Ends Here. And I'm like, wow, that's such a great title. And so I wrote a song about, I guess, an anti-religious song called God Ends Here. And it's on Suffering the Dead. And has nothing to do with the movie The Nun. I just like the title. But Dead Inside was really written on, my father had passed away in 19, and there were a couple deaths around me, friends who also lost a couple parents. And so really Dead Inside, that's just kind of where the lyrics came from. Just a very, just feeling, well, dead inside. I mean, there's really, there's not much to it lyrically. It's just kind of where I came from at the time. And then, the video, really, the only storyline in the video is pretty much, if you've seen our video, which you could YouTube the video for that song, it really just kind of shows you the kind of guys that Seeds of Perdition are. And I don't drink and I don't partake in any drugs, but the other guys in my band drink and they like to have a good time. And so the beginning of the video kind of shows them guys drinking and me kind of breaking it up and go, yo, let's play music. Cause that's pretty much how all of our rehearsals are. They just, we, unless we're preparing for a show, but if we're not preparing for anything, it's we'll come in, do a couple of songs and the guys will drink. And then, it's a big relaxed atmosphere. So the video is me coming to them and breaking them up. And then at the end of the video, they're all passed out on the floor and I'm leaving and yelling at them because that's just what I do. But it's all in fun. We like to see the Perdition. We like to have a good time. We like to have a lot of laughs. And I said this on another interview also that George kind of came up with the idea of that whole, the drinking and me breaking them up and leaving them with them on the floor. And it really kind of shows you the kind of band that we are, where we can be this intense death metal band while we're performing, and we take us out of that, and we're always having a good time and up for a few laughs.
So you mentioned rehearsal, and that leads perfectly into a question that I have, but you're gonna be like, what?
No, nobody's ever asked me a rehearsal question, so this is cool.
Well, so what is the best pizza you've ever eaten because you're a musician?
You're right. I didn't see that one coming. The best. The best pizza. Well,
so it could be a rehearsal, it could be recording, it could be to or from a gig, it could be at a gig. You just have to relate it to being a musician somehow.
That's okay. That's a good one. So there, we as in our Philly scene here in Jersey, a lot of the bands around here, we play this place called Halftime Sports Bar and Grill in Newark, Delaware, and right next door. And unfortunately, I don't know the name of the pizza place, and I'm sure someone will probably text me while we're sitting here. I don't know the name of the place, but there's like a little pizza place next door, and I always end up getting pizza over there, and it's always a good. Either I try not to do it before a set, but usually after a set, it's a nice little tip of the cap, to a good night is a good slice of pizza. So that's what comes off the top of my head is that place next to Halftime.
That's someday I'm going to go back and listen to these shows and write them all down and then do a show about pizza. Right, so this next question is the official Build a Scene question, and the story behind it. I'll tell you the story after I ask the question.
Okay.
It's who's your Dave Grohl, and by that I mean who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their songs?
That's
because
easy,
the Foo Fighters are.
Is that your guy? Like, is Dave Grohl your guy?
I'll tell you how it became Dave Grohl.
Okay.
Like, go ahead.
So I guess the guy that I would. Are we talking about now in 2023 or
it could be anytime? Yeah.
Say there's so many, like I love so many singers, so many artists. But I think and I know a bunch of my friends are probably screaming at their video screen right now. I would probably say Zetro and Exodus. Zetro is Steve Suzo. He's one of my idols. If he's not one of my, he's probably one of my top 5 favorite singers of all time. And I could probably rip him off pretty good in terms of sounding like him. So, because I've listened to him for so long and I'm such a huge, huge fan. So I would say Zetro with Exodus. I think that'd be super. I'd even do it with his AC/DC tribute band. I don't care. Like, it'd just be really cool to share a stage and stand next to the thrash god himself.
So, you know how when you're on YouTube, there's those videos on the right-hand side?
Of course.
That if you let it play through, it just plays through that list. Well, no matter what I search on YouTube, Dave Grohl or the Foo Fighters are over there. And I don't know how it started, but that's what happened. And I was like, how can I turn this into a question? And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can't get Dave to come on one of my podcasts.
That would be amazing.
So for a while, I was tagging him, tagging the Foo Fighters. I emailed his management company. I saw a video where Brian Johnson from AC/DC visited him, and they talked about Vans. I tagged Brian Johnson and said, "Hey, Brian, how did you get a hold of Dave?" And tagged them both, and no one ever has responded.
Man, have you ever thought about maybe putting like a little video clip together of all of the different people that you've asked that question to? And go, hey, this is my Dave Grohl question, and see, you know what I mean? Like, and send him that so he knows it's just not like a one-off. I mean, listen, in this day and age, of technology and social media, you may not have to go through. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't run his own Facebook page, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you don't always have to just, go through agents and management. I mean, honestly, sometimes Mick gets these interviews and I go, how did you get this guy? And he goes, well, I just messaged him. I mean, it's how it is.
This was all going on when he was doing that drum off with Nandy, the little girl who was.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I'm like, he has to be paying attention, and
there you go, right. Well, so then, like I said, maybe you should put like a little video clip together of all the.
Maybe I should interview her.
Oh, there you go. And there you go.
And ask her who's your Dave Grohl.
And she'll say Dave Grohl.
I do get that occasionally.
Well, and I listen. I'm not a Foo Fighters fan, but I understand the importance of who Dave Grohl is in the music industry. Like I get it. I totally see what he does for this industry.
And I say that about like the Beatles, and there are a handful of Beatles songs that I like.
Sure,
but overall, they're not my thing. And
I didn't get into the Beatles songs. I was much older.
But I also understand their place in history, and without them, none of what we're 100%. This conversation 100%. Between us wouldn't even be happening.
Yeah, yeah. Or it may be, but it may be a different way. It may be a different way. Maybe someone else would have taken that place of the Beatles. God knows who it would have been. You know what I mean? Like, or it could have always been somebody else. We just don't know who that somebody else would have been, and then it would have just changed the course of everything.
Let's take another short break.
Okay.
And then we'll see how much time we have left to play.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. I'm here.
So we've mentioned Corners of Sanctuary a couple times. We're going to listen to Galloping Horde.
You know what?
Galloping Hordes.
Bill, excuse me real quick. I told you. So my buddy Bert just texted me and said, Rudy's Pizza Italian Bistro is the place next to. See, I told you people were listening.
Nice.
Sorry. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So Galloping Hordes by Corners of Sanctuary. And you heard Bonnie Diver mention earlier that we were giving away tickets. That's going to happen on the video side here momentarily.
Nice.
It is time for me to give away 2 tickets to the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus at the Craft House with Bad Luck and 3. I had 3 people sign up. They're Andrew Carr, Amanda Powers, Lori Burton. You'll see I put their names each on there 4 times. I'm going to shuffle those names. And then I'm going to hit spin, and we are going to find out who's going to win those 2 tickets. And the winner is Lori Burton. So Lori, keep an eye on your email over the next today or tomorrow. You should be seeing an email from myself, and then you will receive email with the tickets from Dresky Entertainment. For those of you that are curious how this works, go to musicfrom412.com/contests. Dresky Entertainment and Music from 412 have gotten together to give away tickets each and every week here live on the live Pennsylvania Rock Show. We're going to go back to interviewing Chris from. And we are back from our short break there, listening to Corners of Sanctuary and their song Galloping Hordes. With me, as I started to say before I pressed the button, Chris from Execution Order and Seeds of Perdition and the Cosmick Voice and Brothers Grimm.
There you go. Nice.
And
nice.
And why don't you, we haven't really talked about Brothers Grimm. Why don't you talk about that real quick?
So the Brothers Grimm is a show, is a live stream, kind of like yourself, Bill, that I do every Monday with my two buddies, Rich Olson and Bert Bigler. And we are on craniumradio.com and we do a live show. And it's a 3-hour kind of metal talk show. I kind of wanted to turn it to a talk show, but my two partners didn't really, they weren't really crazy about that idea. But so, you know, we play kind of like you do. We talk, we play metal and, you know, we talk about, you know, again, just, you know, stuff in the music business. We try to, you know, stay topical and, you know, we talk about the latest Blabbermouth or Metal Injection articles and, you know, get to views on it and just see where, because the three of us kind of sometimes have different ways of thinking of things. And, you know, sometimes one of us will come up with something and then maybe the other person will have a different opinion on it. And then we just kind of talk it out. And we've been doing it a long time. Many, many years. It's probably been, I've been with Rich, I don't know, 6-7 years, maybe even longer than that. And Bert's been with us maybe 5 or 6. I don't know. So it's been a long time. We've been doing it a long time. And it's cool. It's a lot of fun. And, you know, as you know, internet radio is tough. It's a tough thing. And, you know, especially now, you know, because there's a lot of people are doing it. But
so many people doing it.
Yeah, so many people are doing it. You know, and when Rich had started the show, because Rich was the original, he was the originator of it. You know, there wasn't many around. And then, you know, when Bert and I came on, we were still kind of ahead of the curve, you know, when it came to internet radio and, you know, the scene just exploded. But, you know, the good thing about that is you guys, us and you, you know, we get to promote the indie artists that normally wouldn't get promoted. You know, Corners of Sanctuary, Seeds of Perdition, like nobody would play us on normal radio, let alone even satellite radio. You know what I mean? Like it's such a hard way to get your music heard. And with internet radio right now, like it's a great avenue for us. And we get to do these interviews like I'm doing with you and you know, you just get your music heard, you know, and between, you know, podcasts and internet radio, it's a good thing. Even though there's a ton of them, you know, it's a good thing to have. It's definitely something that's important to us guys that are in the trenches, as Mick would say.
So this show, the Pennsylvania Rock Show, the very first episode was on September 14th, 2004.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
A long time, man. And have you been doing it the whole time, Bill? Has this been you since the beginning?
So, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Now there was a little over a year hiatus.
Okay.
But I kept doing the promotion part. Just
sure.
There was
sure.
What happened was I had a 26-month-old son and my newborn twins, and
that'll do it.
That kind of put a hold on.
Yeah, that'll throw a monkey wrench in your in the show. But no, I get it. And you know, it's really cool that guys like you, you know, and the cool thing, because with us, Brothers Grimm, we don't turn it into a show like you, or you know, to a we don't do video and we don't turn it into a podcast. Like if you hear us on Monday, that's it. Like we're done. Once the show's over, it's over. We've moved on. We used to do little clips on YouTube, but it gets with, you know, and we were doing Facebook live feeds too. And then, you know, when they came really crashing down hard on copyright stuff, it was like, well, then we would just do it. You know, we wouldn't play the music. We would just do the talking live on, you know, through Facebook.
That's why you're seeing videos in the breaks, because the music is playing on the radio side. So the videos have to play.
See, great idea. I didn't even think about that when you were doing it.
Yeah. So we're currently on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Music from 412's website. We were supposed to be on Kick, but I mentioned that didn't work because I clearly did something wrong. I'm sure it's not them. But we're on First Angel Media, Build the Scene, Music from the 412. We're all over the place right now. XRP Radio, which is in Scotland. We're on.
I know that. I know you were saying that earlier. I'm like, man, that's so cool. And again, see now this, like, you know, those places would have never, or you know, those countries, those states, those would have never heard us and Corners of Sanctuary. You know what I mean? Like it just wouldn't. you know, unless we were out in that area. But it you know, with this kind of medium, with internet radio, is such a great thing for guys like us. Like it just truly is.
And listen, I just have fun with it. That's why I'm doing it.
That's you know, I mean, that's the way it has to be.
My ultimate goal was, to help the bands, but it's fun. And, I've gotten bands, like I've gotten a band, Cage, who's no longer together. I helped get them on South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. I've gotten bands played on the radio, so there have been some cool things coming out of it. The Black Crows listened to my show one night.
That's great.
They were in town.
And then that's what I'm saying. Like you never know who's listening, right? And number two, like if you and I walk away from this interview tonight, and one person hits me up on social media, and goes, "Hey man, like I heard the show, I really dig your stuff." Like that's one person that I didn't have, 24 hours ago, and that's what it's all about. That's just what it's all about.
All right, so let me ask you another sort of off the wall question, but there's a point to it. And it's not so that I can find pizza places.
That was such a great question.
All right, so one of your band decides to go out on tour, and for some reason you hire me to drive your tour bus. Don't do that, but for some reason you decided to. What music
coming?
What music are we going to listen to in between tour stops?
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to say you'll drive the bus for execution order. Let's do that because we have such a huge taste of music between us. You would probably hear, let's see. So from me, you would probably hear Van Halen for sure. I can tell you that right off the bat. Van Halen, Exodus, and probably Bret Michaels / Poison. That's what you're going to hear from me.
I like the last one. I like them all, but that last one.
That's why we're friends, Bill. And then my guitar player F6. You're probably going to hear some like old school Schooly D, Run DMC hip hop, and you'll probably hear some. He may play some. Let's see. Who would he play? So definitely play some old school hip hop for sure. He'd probably play some off the wall metal band that is just you've never heard of before. And then he would probably play, something big like, Slayer, or he would probably play Exodus too. And then my bass player Jason would definitely play Overkill, and Megadeth. And so that's what you would hear on the execution order tour bus for sure.
See, so there's a little bit of their influences. See how I did that?
Oh yes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for sure. Definitely for sure.
So Kiss, I happen to be wearing his shirt.
I saw that. Yes.
Kiss played in a bay in Australia to Great White Sharks, and Metallica played in Antarctica. I don't know why that was so hard. In a bubble.
It's late.
What is a non-standard venue that you would like to play at?
Oh, a non-standard venue. Wow. We joke about these a lot. I don't know if you've seen these online, but there's like this wave of do-it-yourself shows, and all these like these young people, these young kids, I'll call them teenagers, are putting these like shows together at the local Denny's or the Subway parking lot. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like for me, that's metal, dude. Like where you're just setting up in a parking lot and you're going for it, and like you have this little speaker in your PA, and that's it. Like that's all I'm yelling out of. That's kind of badass for sure.
I like it.
Yeah, man. The inside of a Denny's. Come on, that's amazing.
So this made me think. 2 years ago, I want to say it was Millville Music Festival. It was either that or it was Deutschtown. I think it might have been Deutschtown, which was the North Side Music Festival renamed.
When we were
it used
there.
used to be Deutschtown, but the metal stage was in a parking lot of a financial institution next to a brewery with with a generator running everything.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, like a number of years ago, Siege of Perdition, we did a gig at FDR Park, which is like a skate park here in Philadelphia, run by a generator. And it was free. Like there was, we were selling merch, and we did it with like a number of bands in the Philly area. And it was a blast. Like it was so much fun. They're the kind of shows, man. That's what I'm talking about. But that's cool. I like that idea. Yeah, that's a cool one, especially a brewery, because the guys both bands, those guys would be crazy in a brewery.
Okay, so you're leaving a gig, and there's a DeLorean sitting there with its door open and a flux capacitor in the back seat. Where are you going in time, and what band are you going to hang out with? Because Marty hung out with the band.
He did. Oh man, I gotta say, bro. I'm going. You may have to excuse me on the dates, but I can tell you, I'm going back to the Bay Area, man. When thrash was starting to come up, when it was, your Slayers and your Exoduses, or excuse me, your Metallicas, your Exodus. Like all that Bay Area stuff, man, that's where I want to be. So like mid 80s, I guess, 84, 85, somewhere in there. That's where I want to be. I want to go to Ruthie's Inn, and I want to see Heathen and Violence, and I want to see all of that. Like I don't even care who I hung out with. I just want to see the creation of thrash at that time, where it was kind of, the swirl of that kind of metal coming up, man. That's because Bay Area thrash for me was huge. That was a huge part of me growing up. I love that stuff, man. I mean, I still do today, but the Bay Area at that time would be a place I would hunker down and head out, get in that DeLorean so quick. Yeah, that's where I would go.
We're going to stick with movie inspired questions.
Oh, okay. Great.
So you're sitting on a bench next to your musical idol.
Okay.
With your box of chocolates.
And I was going to throw in a Forrest Gump, and I didn't want to interrupt your question.
And that's where I was going. And you're allowed to ask that idol one question. What question are you going to ask them, and who is it?
Wow, man. I think I would sit next to David Lee Roth, and I would say, in any of the Van Halen stuff, like, are any of your lyrics, do they mean anything, or is it really just words on paper? Because a lot of that genius stuff that he wrote, you read the lyrics to like everybody wants some. Like, to me, it seems gibberish. Just kind of sentences on paper. Like he's just filling in the spots to get the song done. And I want to know, like, how many of those songs do they really mean anything, or is it or were you just being David Lee Roth and just throwing your Rothisms in there? You know what I mean? To, just to get that song done. Because I want to know, there's some of those songs, man, are just pure brilliance. And some of the lyrics, I go, God, these lyrics are brilliant, but I don't know what any of it means. Like, or does he want you to interpret what he's trying to say, which is, something that we all do as musicians and artists.
I hear that a lot when I do that MTV storytellers question.
Yeah, man. Like, you don't always, just because what like Dead Inside, we were talking about Dead Inside. I don't necessarily, well, maybe if you read lyrics, you may understand where my head was at the time that we wrote it. But, if you're not realizing that I wrote it when my father passed away, you may look at it as a whole nother thing. When God Ends Here, you're reading that, you may think I'm this devil worshiping, and I'm, sacrificing goats and, in my yard, but you're not realizing that the line came from a movie. So I understand that artist interpretation. Like, I don't, you want people to kind of have their own thought process about it. They want to have your own opinion. But I want to know if Roth had that same idea, or if it's literally just gibberish. Because if he looked at me and said, nah, man, it's literally just gibberish, I'd go, yeah, I kind of figured that, but it's still awesome.
All right, so we're cutting it tight. I've actually cut 2 songs out of my playlist.
You go, Bill.
No, I have.
That's the Brothers Grimm way. That's what we do too. We talk too much, and then we end up cutting songs. We do it all the time. Don't worry about it.
I didn't mention who they were, so nobody knows who they were.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Play them next week.
Actually, two of the songs that I played at the beginning of this show were on last week's show that got cut.
Well, then there you go. See, they don't know. They don't know.
Okay, so where can all of the things that you do online be found?
So you could go to Execution Order is literally just on Facebook. Execution Order. We're also on Instagram. Seeds of Perdition, Facebook, also on Instagram. We do have a website that we really kind of have to get back up and running. We're not very good at that, but we definitely have a Seeds of Perdition website. You can get our material from Horror, Pain, Gore, Death Productions on Bandcamp. You can get our new record. You can get the new T-shirts, and then Brothers Grimm also Facebook, and the Cosmick Voice also Facebook and Instagram. Under the Cosmic Verse with Mick Michaels.
All right, so one more quick question.
Go for it.
What's coming up next? Give me one thing for
recording. Both bands of mine we're headed to the studio. Like I said about Execution Order, we got the one done, waiting for final mix, and then we're going in to record the record. Seeds of Perdition, same thing. We were on the cusp of starting to record our next record. So recording for both.
Cool. I want to thank you for hanging out with me.
Thank you so much, Bill.
We're going to end the live video, but on the music end, we're going to hear Skell's song "Suicide Eyes," and that's going to end that.
Nice.
Hang out for a moment, though, Chris.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah, definitely will. Thank you.